Today I'd like to share with you a little bit about one of my favorite passions, which is collecting and using crystals and gemstones for sacred feminine healing work and for tools in making my environment have a much calmer and I think it's just beautiful energy. Now, it's not a new thing, even though we're aware that a lot of people are using them, crystals and gemstones, but for thousands of years, the ancients have used these tools for releasing mental, physical, and spiritual blockages, for facilitating actually healing and manifestation in their life, and for amplifying the flow of energy. For me, it has nurtured my spirit, especially my feminine spirit, and it's really had a big change on how the feel of my home is by collecting them and placing them in an area where I can feel their energy. Some people will challenge you on that, or me on that, I think. Like, oh, you can feel their energy. Well, I have some interesting news for you. That when you measure the energy of various objects, these stones are actually alive. But the reason that we don't see that movement and activity is because their vibration is very, very low and very, very slow. If you imagine the waves of energy that are sound, the energy of sound is dramatic, like up and down and close together. But the energy of these stones is very low and hardly moves. It's just very slow and long. So for those of you who feel that when you are near them, you're not imagining it. There's an actual energy emanation from stones. Stones have been used for meditation because they can help with a specific targeted problem. I've used amethyst particularly for lowering blood pressure. At one time I had to take medicine for blood pressure, but using the amethyst and my mind to say lower my blood pressure, lower, it actually helped when I went to the doctors to have my blood pressure measured. And eventually I was able to come off, not because of the stones, but I know it facilitated lowering my blood pressure. One of the things to think about when you touch or use the stones is that if you want to receive their energy, you're going to use the left hand or the feminine side of your portal. If you want to project the energy of the stone, you will hold it in your right hand in the masculine portal, which is more projective than receptive. Stones have been used in sacred geometry in order to repeat the patterns of sacred geometry which are repeated in the universe and everything. But you can bring that to your own, right in front of you, by using the stones in a specific pattern to create energy. You can make the energy more intense. You can make it more targeted. And that's the idea when we use it for healing, in healing sessions. I'm a certified energy practitioner. I hold a master's degree in metaphysical sciences, and I'm also a registered nurse. So being able to use the tools that augment and facilitate healing has been a big interest for me. Although I first started collecting these stones because I felt their energy. When I went into a store, a shop, I could feel something powerful. I want to talk about a couple of these stones and why I picked them and what happened for me when I did. There was a time about 10 years ago when my sons had moved on. They had graduated and they moved out of the home, and I then invited a renter to come to share the home. And the problem was we were clashing, and we were irritating each other, or I felt irritated for sure. So I read up on the stones, and then I went out to find this apophyllite. Now generally, the apophyllite, which looks like crystal but is not, you can see from the underlying stone and the way that it comes together. It's somewhat like the crystals of quartz crystals, but it's apophyllite. And do you know, I bought 2 of these stones and I put them in the 2 common areas of the home, and our problem with irritability was solved. These stones protected us from that discord and solved the anxiety between us. I was just hopeful, but I was pretty impressed with that turn of events, because now it's obviously made everything so much more compatible. So if you're having problems with energy, irritability in your home, you might want to try some apophyllite. It really works. I'm sure that you have become familiar with gemstones and crystals through jewelry, and seen different kinds of stones, and actually yearned for having like rubies and emeralds and that kind of thing. There's really a purpose to that, because jewelry, once you have become familiar with the energies of the stones, can help protect you, can help, again, alleviate your mood. If you were to choose a piece of jewelry that had apophyllite in it, you can use the jewelry as an amulet, like a protection, and stick it in your pocket if you want good luck. If you can put jade in your pocket for good luck. You can put turquoise in a necklace or wear your turquoise if you want to emanate love, be more loving. Rose quartz is a stone that is always brings the feminine side of the heart and love. It's the compassionate side. So another stone that really helped me was the lapis lazuli. This is the stone, and this one in particular comes from Pakistan. This particular stone, it's the stone of spiritual enlightenment. When you wear this or work with this, you have spiritual protection and you have a lot more spiritual potential. So it actually helps you realize when you're wanting to progress in your spiritual path, your prayers can be facilitated and helped with lapis lazuli. One of the things that we do in my healing sessions that I do with shaman work and with Reiki and energy healing is you use the stones, crystals, particular ones based on what energy is needed, and place them strategically around the table where the patient or client is lying down. So these help to target specific problems. Can be for pain, can be for grief, it can be for trauma. But lying the stones strategically around the body has been great for helping on the healing therapy sessions. The most powerful stone of all, and this is been used now, they manufacture them in the lab to, because they're in nature, they're not always perfect, is the actual quartz crystal. The quartz crystal, you may not know this because this is a fascinating fact, is that they were used in creating the chip that goes into the computers. They are used in the manufacture of the electronic microchips. And that's why I believe that's why they started manufacturing them in the lab, because they could be made perfectly without, little pieces of, what would you call it? Pieces of, different elements inside the rock. So, but the thing with what you can use them for, and they're the most powerful stone for manifesting and for bringing about your intentions, because when you hold them and say your prayer or speak your intentions, it's believed that they hold that intention while you go about your business and so forth, and they powerfully hold that intention to help you manifest what you would like to create in your life. So I hope that you will use them, explore them, maybe collect a few and experiment, because they can be powerful tools to nourish your spiritual path. You may check it out on my website, and I hope you enjoyed hearing about these different stones. And thank you for joining me.